The first question that I ask is a very simple one, but I think it's an important one. What is the purpose of financial statement analysis? When you are analyzing a set of financial statements, what do you do? What is that process? What does it look like? If I asked you to write it down, would you actually be able to do that? I think when I talk to a lot of CFOs and controllers, they know sort of what they do. Like they might be able to tell you a few things. Like maybe one of the things would be is that, when we're putting together financial statements at the end of the month, one of the things that we do is maybe compare a prior period to what the current period number is. That's a pretty common thing to do. There might be some initial ratios or relationships that we want to look at. So, if we're seeing if we're used to seeing a working capital number and that working capital number is very different this period, we may look at that and say, okay, something's going on here. I don't know what it is, but I know that something's going on here and I need to look into it. I think, though, that if you were to try to sort of write it down, kind of a step-by-step process, I think that's a very difficult thing to do. And maybe that is why financial statement analysis is a skill that develops typically over time. I mean, most of the time when folks are kind of first coming out of school, men and women enter into the workforce as maybe like a staff accountant or something like that, and they really struggle with this sort of analytical side of putting together financial statements and really trying to figure out what is right. And I think a lot of that is, is practice, but also too, that there's not sort of one way that we go about financial statement analysis. I think we all have a little bit of our own take, our own spin that we kind of put on that skill. And so it takes some time for us to really sort of help that skill to develop.